racing too.
Oh no, he's going.
Hey, you gotta tell me where.
I had a little baby, he was 3 months old, and he woke up late at night with a really high fever. It was over 103 degrees. And I called the pediatrician earlier in the day and they said that if it gets high, go ahead and take him in. So I took him to the emergency room and they did a chest x-ray because he was struggling to get enough oxygen and they wanted to check for pneumonia. And that's when they found a weeks-old, nearly healed rib fracture.
Good job, buddy.
We heard a knock at the door, and it was armed police officers with several people from the Department of Children and Families there to take our kids.
We said that this can't be legal. We asked them to leave. We asked the police officers to make them leave, to say that you can't be here without paperwork, without a warrant, without evidence, without due process. You can't come and take our kids.
Yeah.
So you guys showed up at 1 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and what is the current situation? Like, what are you, like, do they have the proper authorization to take our kids? I mean, do we know about that?
We're waiting for her people to make decisions.
Videoed and.
From what I understand, yes.
And we took some pics yesterday.
There is an incentive in how money is spent to separate children from their families when they feel a family or a child is in need of help. The money is designated to only give that support if the family is separated. And that's the biggest problem with CPS across America.
Well, they're taken to task for omissions and commissions, for doing something more than the public thinks they should do, and for not doing enough. And I think what the public doesn't realize is that we don't make those decisions by ourselves. Child protection agencies have to rely on the court. They have to rely on the judicial system very heavily.
When there's never been any police calls to the house, when there's no history of substance abuse or domestic violence, when the pediatrician is called multiple times to vouch for the family, I think all of that should be weighed very heavily in making the decision as to whether or not this is a family that has a high risk of being abusive to their children. The vast majority of people in this system are people in poverty, people without the sort of social capital that we've had, without the sort of resources we have. And because of that, we do feel a real responsibility to make changes where we can. A lot of people in the system are far less fortunate than us. And so I think somebody has to do something.